Guys, so I got a binder yesterday. Can you see how manly man my chest is now? Yeah. But I wanted to share it with you guys because I really feel like confident in myself for like the first time in a really long time. And it's one of the very few times that I do actually feel confident. I usually just go with like sports bras because I'm a 32A and they do the job decently, but ever since I started on this new medication I'm on, I've gained a few pounds, and it's getting a little more difficult to hide my chest, you know? And I went out to eat last night while wearing it, and I just felt so much less awkward than I usually do in public, and I think the main reason for that is just that I have a really small chest anyway, so I just feel really awkward looking, and I'd rather just have nothing than like embarrassing little mosquito bites. I wanted to stress that this is the first time in a long time, if ever, that I've ever felt completely comfortable with my body. Ever since I came to terms with being like gender fluid or androgynous or whatever you want to call it, I've been trying to reach this ratio of like 60% female and 40% male, like 60% feminine, 40% masculine. I wanted to kind of make this video so that I could share with you my journey up until now as a gender fluid person. Bear in mind that most of what I'm going to talk about is not synonymous with all gender fluid people, all non-binary people. All non-binary identifying people feel differently about their bodies and about themselves. So keep in mind that this is only my experience and I'm not trying to speak for anybody else. So I've never really felt comfortable with myself, whether it be like my personality or my clothes or my body or anything like that. You know, when I was in elementary school, I tried to keep up with like the latest fashions, but I always kind of fell behind and I still got picked on for wearing stuff that was no longer in style, or I'd get called a poser for trying to dress like the cool kids when I wasn't a cool kid, and I don't really know why, but whatever. Either way though, I always kind of dressed like a girl in girls' clothes, and I never thought anything of it. It was just like a given, like that's just the way I'm supposed to dress. But I never really liked wearing dresses, and I probably only voluntarily wore a dress to school like maybe twice ever. I started dressing like differently towards the end of like 8th grade. Differently being like I started wearing more black, and the gears kind of started turning towards me being like an emo kid. And it kind of started when my cousin bought me a Green Day shirt from Hot Topic, and it was just a black shirt with a red Green Day logo on it, and I probably wore that shirt more than any other article of clothing that I owned. And then I got this shirt from Hot Topic that said "I'm with the band" in big white letters, and I thought that I was so cool for wearing like music related shirts or whatever. And then at the end of the summer between 8th and 9th grade, my grandma dropped me off the mall, gave me $200, and said, go just pick out whatever clothes you want for school. And I spent it all on Hot Topic. So that was really when I started dressing alternatively full time, and I felt more comfortable wearing like dark clothes and music related shirts and things that expressed my own interests, like Invader Zim merch and what have you. But I still liked wearing skirts and makeup and all that, and just because I figured that that's what I was supposed to be doing. I never really put any thought into it. That same year though, I came to terms with being bisexual. I realized that I was equally attracted to girls as I was guys, and I didn't really think that it would extend beyond that. I thought that's just, you know, I'm just bi, that's it. And I never really felt comfortable with my body or myself in any way, and I never once linked it to girls' clothes. It just kind of never occurred to me that I could wear anything differently. Over time, I started making more male friends than female friends, to the point where I only had one girl as a friend and the rest of my friends were guys. And I realized that I wasn't into the whole like makeup and dressing up and talking about boys thing and all the stuff that went along with having girls as friends. I had a lot more in common with guys, and I got along with them a lot better, and I felt the most comfortable with my guy friends, and I felt like most of my friends saw me as just one of the guys. And I felt a lot more comfortable with that than when I hung out with girls. Whenever I was 16, I discovered the term pansexual, which basically means that you're attracted to people of all genders, attracted to anybody from here to here on the gender spectrum. And again, didn't think it ever expand or extend beyond that. I never really linked my sexuality with my own gender. The one thing that should have tipped me off all along, but didn't, was the fact that I got a little offended when people called me a girl, as I should have been. I never really got why, but it just made me uncomfortable. It wasn't until I was about 17 that I wore an article of men's clothing, and I really felt super confident in myself. Every year at the venue where I book concerts, we hold an event called the Art of Horror, and every year we encourage people to wear costumes, and we have different prizes for different categories of costume. And that year, my boyfriend at the time and I decided to dress up as cross-dressing zombies. So he wore a dress and I wore a blazer, and that night I felt so much more confident in myself and in my clothes than I'd ever felt ever. I mean, it had to take a Halloween costume for me to realize that I liked wearing men's clothes, but at the same time, I don't know how I would have figured it out otherwise. That night, I was comfortable in a way that I'd never felt before, so I realized how much I liked wearing men's clothes and I liked appearing more masculine. And shortly after that, I started wearing boys' underwear, and that made me feel really good about myself. It was like I could wear more masculine clothing without having strangers judge me or having people possibly criticize me. I slowly began to wear more masculine clothes, such as men's combat boots and band t-shirts with no sleeves on them, and skinny jeans from the guys section at Hot Topic. And when people would ask me, are you a guy or a girl? I was kind of really proud of myself. The only thing was I never really had a word or a label to go along with how I wanted to describe my personal gender preference. It was just kind of unspoken. Then, when I was 19, I discovered the word androgynous, and I looked up some videos on YouTube and I read a lot about the word in general, and I discovered that that was the word that I wanted to use. It basically just means that you prefer to have aspects of both male and female in the way that you dress and your own gender expression. For example, an androgynous male will have long hair and wear women's clothing and makeup and all that, but he'll still have facial hair and wear men's shoes. An androgynous female will wear more men's shirts and no makeup and possibly have a male haircut while still wearing women's jeans. It varies person to person, but those are just examples. I started realizing that when I wore masculine clothing, I felt more comfortable, but I still wanted to be the cute girl that all the guys are after. And I slowly started identifying myself as gender fluid or non-binary or androgynous. And when I was 20, I came out as being gender fluid via Facebook and Instagram on National Coming Out Day. Since then, I've been trying to acquire more masculine clothing, most of by shirts or band shirts with the sleeves cut off in some way, which is a style that both girls and guys can rock equally, so that's perfect for me. And the only thing left was my chest. And I have this tiny chest that it just makes me look really awkward. Especially when I wear a tight shirt, it just kind of obstructs my figure and makes me look really strange. Sports bras were my go-to, but at the same time, it still just looked awkward to me. And I started taking Seroquel, and if you have bipolar, then you know all about this drug and how it makes your metabolism slow down. And I went from 95 pounds to 110 pounds in about 3 weeks, and I feel like I'm probably still gaining weight, and the biggest problem with the weight gain is that it's making my chest appear more visible through my clothes. So I finally had an excuse to wear a binder. And I ordered it about 2 weeks ago, and it finally came in the mail yesterday, and I finally feel like I reached my goal. I'm currently in the process of saving more money for men's clothes. I found a company on Amazon that sells really cool, stylish men's clothing with kind of a goth twist, and all of their styles and everything is in Asian sizes, so it's one size smaller than a US size. So their small is a US extra small. Finding extra small men's clothes is difficult enough, but finding them in styles that I really like was probably one of the luckiest things that has ever happened to me. So I'm in the process of filling up about 50% of my wardrobe with clothing from that company, and the other half being my beloved band shirts. My ideal style would probably be to wear more like stylish men's dress shirts with worn out patched skinny jeans. So I could have a little taste of everything that I want in my style. For now though, I'm completely content with myself. And if you're interested, I will show you the binder. I don't know how many people in my audience are like gender fluid or gender queer or whatever, non-binary females, but this is the binder I got. This is a small. I would opt, if you're planning on getting one, I would opt for getting a size bigger because it has these 3 different tightness settings, so you can make it as tight or as loose as you want. It was about $5, and as you can see, it really does the job. Like it really is actually pretty flat. When I put a shirt on, looks pretty good, huh? Yeah. So anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below, and if you have a similar story or you want to tell me your gender journey just like I just did, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you are comfortable with it, please make your own video, let the world know who you really are, and if you would like, please send me said video, and in return I will send you as much support as I possibly can. Share this to all of your social media accounts and send it to the people who you think might benefit from just knowing that they're not alone, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.